Hello, and welcome to No, I'm Not Human. This will be the very first game that we will achievement hunt on this channel, so please sit back and relax as you watch the painful experience of save loading and gambling. So if you have not played this game before, I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of the game mechanics and what is going on. The main character that you play as has been living alone and only has really a connection with his neighbor, and his neighbor warns him that something weird's going on, it's getting really hot outside, you can only go out during the daytime, and you need to have at least one other person in your home or something bad will happen. And that bad thing is just having a really tall skinwalker break into your home and just murk you immediately. So as you're letting people into your home, you're trying to decipher if they are a skinwalker, or as they call a visitor, or if they're an actual human being. But even if you know who's a visitor and who is a human, you still need to check for various signs to make sure that they're not going to kill anybody else in your home. So this is going to be checking their eyes, checking their teeth, checking their skin. You're also going to want to take photos of them to kind of read their aura, I guess. Just things like that. At one point on the TV it does say you can check their ears as well, but this isn't a verified way to check for a visitor, so if you do it in front of the bounty hunter, he does crash out on you. Now is a good time to also point out that you need to kind of manage the amount of people in your home. That is the core aspect of the game, and this is challenged by an upbrought group, I want to say government group, called FEMA, who will request that you give away the people that you do have in your home to run tests on. My friend has suggested this game, and I was originally turned away by it because I couldn't tell if it was more of a suspense horror than a jump scare one, which I am way too nervous to sit through, and his attempts to get me to try it out were tough, but after trying and trying again, I was finally convinced and bought it the moment he mentioned achievements. I will admit that I played my first run with him and did not get footage of this, but I did grab some of the basic achievements, such as So, No, I'm Not a Visitor, Come and See, Your Fluffy Master, First Time, Harsh Compromise, Special Delivery, TV Made Me Do It, Not on My Watch, and I unlocked the 10th ending, which is the Wrath of the Vigilante. After my first run, I scanned over the list of achievements and decided how I wanted to organize this was by having one main focus and then having a few side goals to look out for. I noticed there was a chunk of collectible-based ones that dealt with the phone numbers, radio stations, the TV, and the people you meet, so you'll see me religiously checking these systems in hopes to get these numbers up. My main goal for this run specifically was to let everyone who knocked on my door into the house, to spark the family dinner achievement, and I was also able to nab the anthrxerm by calling the physics number from the radio station. This run was unfortunately cut short because I apparently shot too many people and then gave away the last person like Halloween candy, so one big guy saw his way into my home. But that's okay because even though I rage quit and logged off for the day, we did unlock ending 6, which sparked the achievement, Yes, I'm Alone. Progress is progress. For this next run, I wanted to figure out what was linked to the basement. I had assumed it had something to do with the mushroom guy because you receive a mushroom by unlocking the basement. So with my clouded judgment that the mushroom ending was attached to digging a hole to China, I just continuously kept digging in the dirt after I was kind of instructed to by someone at the door. And I had found the miner who was just kind of hanging out in there, and he told me not to go dive down into the little hole. So I popped a save, made it to the very end of the game, which sparked the achievement No, I'm Not Alone. What I didn't know at the time was there was 2 different versions of this achievement. The first one was simply having visitors, which is the bad ending, still in your house by the end of the game, or the good ending where you actually kept only humans in your house. In this run, because I had progressed so far out, I went ahead and I also popped the achievement What the Hell Was That? After I had grabbed the bad ending, I ran it back and I jumped into that big old hole that I was told not to jump into, and I got probably one of my favorite endings out of every single one, which was Embrace the Inevitable by Meeting Death. I don't know, this ending just was so tranquil and it was just so comforting. The difference between how dirty the game feels, how cryptic it is, this was just a very refreshing taste, and it felt good. I enjoyed this ending a lot. After that, I wanted to full send on the mushroom ending, and I did this by following the steps of eating the mushroom in the basement, eating the apple in the living room, and then turning the clock all on different days back to back. And he invited me to go hang out with the mushroom, sparking the Shroom of Doom ending. In this run, I had also picked up a house with history by just exploring the place, and as well as Sommelier? How do you pronounce that? Sommelier? How to pronounce Sommelier.
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 Sommelier. I had gotten the sommelier achievement by simply ingesting the kombucha, an energy drink, and a magical mushroom that was growing in my basement. I referred back to the achievement sheet and I noticed that there was a bunch of visitor-based achievements that I wanted to zero in on, and I felt the easiest one was to start off with the ballerina, which you just talk to her, and on the 5th day, when she kind of just admits to being a visitor, she twists her body into a little pretzel and then you shoot her and she's gone. The next one was to just shoot the guy who really wanted to learn self-defense, which feels kind of cruel, but I won't lie to you, he was one of the characters who just kept getting on my nerves, so I kind of didn't really feel remorse towards this. Call me evil, whatever. I had also unlocked Walk a Mile in Their Shoes when I was getting this as well. I'm pretty confident that to spark this, you just have to have 3 people die in your home in that one save, and then it wipes everybody out. I cannot say for sure, but that's kind of the repetitive situation I kept finding myself in. After like 3 or 4 people would die in the house, I was just like, okay, that's probably why. I had also finally unlocked Story Was Little Jai, a little late, I will say, by just simply not saving the game. Who knew? Then I went ahead and I sought after the Do Not Disturb one, which was also pretty easy. I just had to tell people who were really aggressive to just fuck right off. And one of the other achievements I was also able to pick up by just shooting someone off the rip was shooting the pushy tenant. And I'm sorry, but he also got on my nerves. I feel like those 2 characters were just specifically designed so you just wanted to shoot them. There's literally no way. The next one I wanted to get was Yes, I'm a Murderer, which all I had to do was just keep shooting people in my house. I went ahead and just waited up until I got the cultists so I can just shoot them one by one, and then that sparked the ending where we're just evil and shoot things. We love shooting things so fun. Then the next one I wanted to get was the Widow's achievement. She is my favorite character. It just feels she has so much depth within her, and all you have to do is talk to her, and on the last day she shows you a photo of her and her late husband who had unfortunately passed. The next achievement that I went ahead and grabbed was the Wait achievement, which all you have to do is check the hands of the girl in the wheelchair, and if she is a visitor, you'll notice that her hands are a little chinked up, and the visitor's like, oh, they'll grow back. And then the achievement pops, and you're like, oh, okay, I can go ahead and shoot her, it's alright. I figured this far in, after I've used the cultists a ton, now would be a great time to go ahead and join their ranks and pop that ending as well. So I went ahead and I sought that ending by protecting them at all costs, whether that be passing out FEMA notices to get other people out of the house, or just letting in a ton of people and ensuring that they wouldn't be taken instead. One of the weirdest endings for me definitely had to have been the Child of Doom ending, where you have to let in a seductive woman and just sleep with her, I'm guessing, until she fosters a baby. I think she already is fostering a baby, unless she's just speed growing it in her belly, TBH. And then you give birth to it, you have to find like the fetuses around the house, and then you'll have that ending sparked. It's really weird. It also sparks the achievement Take Responsibility, which is a huge nod to the game Mouthwashing, which I greatly appreciated. That was such a fantastic game. The next few achievements that I needed were closer to around the actual human characters, as well as it could be either a human or a visitor. So as a little lightning round, I went ahead and I sparked the You're Fired achievement by simply talking with the FEMA guy who said he wasn't with FEMA but actually was. He was just fired. And then I got the achievement Lost in the Roots by just inviting in the Immortal Man, which I assume he's always a human, but there's some forums online that say he sometimes is a visitor. I've never seen him as a visitor in my playthroughs, but it could just be a spawn chance. I then got the achievement Hot Potato by simply giving the poor firefighter the FEMA notice that he gives you right back to him, just immediately kicking him out of the house. Then I gave a beer to a sun cultist, who then threw up all over my bathroom floor, sparking the achievement, What's That Smell? During this time, I also grabbed the Frenemy achievement, which simply you just kill someone who has both been a human and a visitor. This was also the perfect time to grab the achievement You Weren't Supposed to Hear That, and how to get this is simply by calling the FEMA number before it's released to the public. All the other phone numbers seem to change, but this one stays the same, so it's really easy to get. You just have to call it off the rip. Also took the time to do the Breakfast of Champions, where all you have to do is drink coffee and have a cigarette. And I had also collected the progressive achievements, where you have to watch every television program and listen to every radio station. I thought I was going crazy, and I thought that I was somewhere smack dab in the middle where I was just missing a day, but turns out I had just completely skipped the tutorial day where you can watch the TV and listen to the radio station. So I just had to start for the tutorial and do that, and I ended up getting both achievements. Yay! Now it was finally time to get the achievement for my second favorite character, which is the Void Visitor. I am told that he's the coat guy, but I kid you not, this entire time I had thought that they were a woman. I was shocked to hear it was a dude all along, but anyway, I liked this achievement a lot because although that he's a visitor the entire time, he's a very mellow and kind of I don't want to hurt anybody kind of feel, and very closed off. And once you get to know him and then talk to him a little more, he trusts you and lifts up his shirt, and then he just kills everybody who's in the living room as well because he has a void in his stomach. The next achievement that was so difficult to grab was the Martyr achievement, and you have to let in the elementary school teacher who had lost all her children in a fire and she just succumbs to grief and tries to reach for your gun, and you do wind up shooting her. The very last special character achievement that we needed was the Eyeless Guy's achievement. His story is fairly sad. When you let him in and you talk to him for a bit, he just lets you know that he's seen awful things and he can't forget it, and eventually on his last day he does unfortunately take his own life. What I ended up abusing for achievements like this and to see and gather characters that would spark achievements that I needed was a save load glitch, where as long as you got them in your house and you make it to the last day where you have to start boarding up the windows, you just go to the main menu and it saves the conversation that you had with them that day, but it doesn't save the actual game progress. So you can just go to the menu and then go back to load, and it'll continue the conversation until you max out the conversation. I did use the same method to spawn the last guy that I needed, which was the Angry Husband, in order to complete the phone book achievement, which took forever. What I also was able to grab through this, which I was ecstatic about, was the Usual Suspects achievement. And when I tell you that this drove me up the goddamn fucking wall, it drove me up the frickin' wall. I don't know what the spawn chances are for the homeless man. I'm not sure if he's supposed to be some sort of rare character. Maybe my save files just hated him. I never got him. Ever. It took me probably close to 30 runs and maybe even more just save loading before I got this dude. It took forever. It was insane. But anyways, we got the achievement. All is well. Oh my god. The next achievement that I really wanted was the end, which all you have to do is survive until the very end with humans in your house, and I did this by quite literally shooting everybody but the widow, and I was like, wait, if it works, it works, and we got the achievement. All was well. To get the FEMA ending, all you have to do is kiss FEMA's butt by just calling the FEMA phone number every single time you see new information about visitors on the television, and by being nice to the agent that comes to the door and asks for you to give up some people in your home for the government research. Eventually, they will come back to your door and say, hey, you've been a great help. We would like you to join our forces, and if you accept, you pop that achievement, and then the game ends. Capturing this achievement sparked the one you get for seeing every achievement, which is everywhere at the end of time, and with that, this marks off every single achievement I hunted in No, I Am Not a Human. Before I move on to the outro, I just want to take a moment to shout out these guides and their creators, as well as those who have taken the time to comment their tips and tricks in the comments of these guides. I know for at least the 100% achievement guide that the creator took the time to update us on when achievements were broken, as well as when they were fixed. As for the easy visitor signs, this user was fantastic. I used this as quick references whenever I was trying to get to a specific date very quickly, as well as made sure I didn't get any of the endings that I did not want. I also don't want to forget the Martyr guide, which simply highlighted how they got the Martyr achievement. She was very difficult to get, so even though it was just covering one specific character and how they did it, this was greatly appreciated and shared a perspective that helped obtain this achievement. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and bring this video to a close. If you had made it this far, please don't forget to leave a like and potentially subscribe for more content. If you have any game suggestions that I should achievement hunt, please leave a comment down below as well. And with that, I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye!